The learnings of Nishmas Etta Ahuva Masechus Bava Kama Perek Yud Mishna Yud, the last mission in the Masechta Muchen Sha'akovis Moitzi Harei Elul Shaloi v'Sha'aserik Moitzi Harei Elul Shabal Habayis. So the mission is telling us a yisod that if someone washes an item and there's these little stuffings or strings that come out, so if that's the derech and the bailam are not makbid on it, so then Harei Elul Shaloi, you could keep it. Even if the bailam are makbid, it's not considered a kpeda, but something that comes out through combing it, so then that's considered something that's chashav, and the bailam would care about it. And that's the whole yisod of this Mishnah, that things that the bailam are not makbid, little things, so then the uman that's working with it could keep these things, but something that the baal habayis is makbid on, he's not allowed to keep. Second example is hakoves noitel shloisha chutim v'hein shaloi yaser mikan harei elu shebal habayis. Up until 3 strings, we say is not chashav, and the baal habayis doesn't care about it, so therefore you could keep it. But if it's more than 3 strings, then you would have to return it to the baal habayis. Another example, if there's black on top of white, so then he doesn't care about this thing, because the black on top of the white makes it megunim, and therefore he doesn't care about the black strings, and therefore you could keep it. Another example, this example is something that is chashiv. If a tailor leaves over strings and it's enough strings to sew with it, or he has a garment which is 3 etzbais by 3 etzbais, that's a davar chashav, and therefore you would have to give it back to the baal habayis. Another example, that which a carpenter takes off with a sander or a scraper, so the little sand, that's not chashav, you could keep it. But because if it's taken off with an axe, so then those are bigger pieces, so then those have to be returned to Shabal Habayis, they belong to Baal Habayis. And the last case of the Mishnah is V'mhaya oise itza Baal Habayis, af hanasara Shabal Habayis. If he was doing work in the house of the Baal Habayis, then even the little sand has to be returned to the Baal Habayis. Bava Metzia, Perek Aleph, Mishnah Aleph, Shnai Mechzim Betal Zaymer Ani Metzatzia v'Zaymer Ani Metzatzia. If 2 people are holding on to a talis, and the Gemara explains that they're only holding on to the fringes, the edges, but if they were holding more than that, then you would keep up until the part that you're holding. And each one says, I found it. That's the ratio of the Mishnah, a case of Metzia. Each one says they found it. Or Zaymer Kula Shali, Zaymer Kula Shali, which the Gemara explains is talking about Mekach Memkar. This one says, I bought it, and the other one says, I bought it. They both gave money. One was B'daita, one was Bal Karchai. So then, they each swear, and they keep it. And the Gemara explains that this shvua is midirabanan, takanas chachamim, shelo yehei kol echad ve'echad teifes shel chaver. People shouldn't just go around grabbing talesim. So therefore, even if you're holding on to part of the talis, the fringe of the talis, you still have to swear in order to keep it. Why is the shvua such a funny shvua that I don't have less than half? Because you can't swear that it's all yours, because we're not giving it all to you, and you can't swear that half of it's yours because you're saying that originally that it was all yours. So therefore you make this shvua that encompasses those words that I don't have less than half. The seif of the Mishnah is if one says it's all his and the other one over here is only saying it's only half his, not all his, so then you have the same halacha just proportionally. The one that said kulai swears that he doesn't have less than 3/4. The one that says half says he doesn't have less, swears that he doesn't have less than 1/4. And then that's how they split it. That one gets 3/4 and the other one gets 1/4.